Hey everybody, welcome to the Sim Hangar. My name is Mark. It's no secret I'm a big fan of DOF Reality's motion platforms, being the owner of an H3 motion platform myself. And it's one of the few things I think that can truly be classed as a game changer, taking you that extra step towards total immersion and realism. Now, I think it'd be fair to say that feedback overall has been overwhelmingly positive for flight simmers using this type of platform. However, one issue did come to the surface, and that is if there's very small changes in pitch and roll, there's a slight judder or stepping effect. Now, Igor, the CEO of DOF Reality, was aware of it and was looking for a solution and committed to have something to trial at FS Expo when it was held in June in Las Vegas earlier this year. I was lucky enough to be there, and with the help of Mark from Get Your Game On, a specialist in terms of motion simulation. If you're not familiar with his channel, you should check him out. I'll leave links to his channel in the notes below. But this is my comment and my impression after trying out the proposed solution.
You got this. We believe in you. There you go.
Wow.
What'd you think?
I'm stunned at the improvement. I'm absolutely stunned.
Whilst at FS Expo, Igor committed to come back to the community and let them know what the implications would be, both for existing users and for those purchasing new motion simulation platforms. And really, that's what this video is about. So let's meet Igor and let's get started. Quick vote of thanks to Igor and the DOF team for responding so promptly and positively to issues raised by the flight sim community. Igor, as you're aware, I was very, very impressed with the solution that you came up with. And I think it'd be fair to say both Mark and myself, we were just quite amazed at just how smooth the movement was in the axis and roll. Before we get into all the pricing or implications for the flight simmers, can you just tell us exactly what was the technical solution that was applied?
Sure, my pleasure, Mark. When we investigated the issue, we understood that the bottleneck or the reason for platform to be a bit steppy at super slow turns is that the motors themselves, they cannot rotate slowly with enough torque. So basically we're using 1500 RPM motors, and we have SFU as reducer, as a kind of gearbox. So ratio is reduced on SFU, but still the motor has its own limit. We used to have like 3000 RPM motors, so we switched to 1500 RPM motors, which is kind of not standard, but still the speed that motor can rotate with enough torque, the minimal speed is quicker than we need in the slow turns. And we tried different solutions. We tried to have play with electronics. We try to kind of boost it externally, but there's nothing can be done. We cannot fight the physics. It's a motor, it's magnetic fields, and the torque should be generated at certain field strengths, and field strengths correlate with the speed. So what we did, actually, we reduced the speed of the motor with another gearbox. It's a planetary gearbox that is placed in front of the motor and before SFU. So we reduce it by a factor of 3, and that makes us the platform ideal for both racing and flight. So we don't lose sharpness, we don't lose speed on the quick dogfights or rally jumps or like quick movements, because the platform had enough bandwidth and have enough high-speed torque capabilities. Motors themselves are quick, but we were able to achieve really smooth motions on the platform. The slow turns, the ones that were reported and the one that we were looking into. So in summary, we introduced an extra gearbox reducer with 3-to-1 ratio between SFU and the motor to reduce the speed and to be able to operate the motor in better performance range, to be able to have super smooth motion at any angle and any rate.
Okay, so it's time to get to really what most people watching this video will be interested in. What is the implication for users? And if we can, we'll just break this down for simplicity into sections, Igor. So for anybody new ordering, let's say as of today, say an H2 or an H3, will they get the new gearbox, and what sort of pricing can they expect?
Sure. So on our website, we have separate sections for racing, for flight and heli, and universal. So if you order from flight or heli section, you will get a new model, which is a bit more expensive, about like $100 per motor. So for racing, the prices are the same and the models are the same without the new gearboxes. But flight and heli, you will get by default the new gearboxes. And for H2, it's 2150 US dollars.
Okay, so 2150. So that's going to be about 1,660 pounds or thereabouts, which is not that far off where it was, to be fair. So that's not bad. And the H3?
H3 is 3120 US dollars.
3120. So 2,400 odd pounds thereabouts. Once again, I think that's very competitive. It hasn't, let's put it this way, it has definitely not put the DOF prices out of the ballpark. They're still the most competitive in the industry. Would that be fair to say that?
Absolutely, yes. It's like $200 for H2 and $300 for H3. That's the only increase we did, and it's a cost for us. So we want to keep it affordable and make it affordable even with latest upgrades and perfect smoothness, perfect performance.
Okay, thank you very much. That's good news, I think. Now, for existing users, this is really the heart of the matter now. When we chatted at FS Expo, there were two options available. Could we upgrade, or would we have to replace our motors? And I think it's a replace situation, not an upgrade. Am I correct?
Yes, unfortunately, they are not fit. It's a lot of issues to do an upgrade, and there are a lot of implications.
Okay,
So what?
So
Yeah.
let's now have a look at if you can just break down for us what is the implication and how would an existing user go about upgrading?
Sure. For upgrades, since we have a lot of different generations of the platforms, it will be a bit tricky, but you will see details on the slide, and you're welcome to ask our support or our contacts chat, or give us a call if you have still some questions.
Just a quick interjection here. If you're currently very happy with your setup, and if, like me, the stepping issue, whilst it was there, was not a major issue for you, the need to upgrade is purely optional. There's no prerequisite to do so.
Let's start from the easiest one. Again, we talk about H platforms, and we are upgrading H2. So if the customer has already latest generation of H2, meaning with SFU and electronic brakes. Electronic brakes means there's an extra wire going to the control box, the round connector, and there's a heatsink fin around the brake on the motor. So if the customer has this latest generation, upgrade for him will have two options. Either we will send him a new motors, which will cost $200 per motor. So for 2 degrees of freedom, it will be $400. And he's sending us back his existing motors without SFU, without the rest, to one of our warehouses in Europe and Poland, or warehouse in US, and on his own cost. So in this case, it will cost him $200 per motor plus shipping. So $400 for H2. And for H3, we still suggest that there's no need to upgrade all three motors with new gearboxes. We suggest to keep yaw or rear traction loss rear motor with existing setup and just upgrade two motors. So it saves money, it makes it easier, and it's a good solution. For six, yeah, you can still do it for six. For six, it's $1,200 because we have to upgrade all six motors. Again, this is assuming that customer is sending us the existing motors back and he have latest generation. So if the customer wants to keep old motors, he doesn't want to send them, he wants to keep them for redundancy, for replacements later, which makes a lot of sense, to have the motors for after warranty self replacements. It will cost $300 per motor. So for each two, it will be $600 plus shipping always. Then if the customer have previous generation without SFU or without the brake, it will cost extra $200 per motor, because basically what we'll have to ship him SFU, new brake, and new motor. So we replace the whole stack, and it will be $200 per motor extra. So $400 total per motor for scenario when he's sending us back the motor, and 500 if he doesn't want to send us back the motors. So for each two, it will be $800 for two motors. For three, again, we recommend to keep upgrade just two, so he can keep it his two. And there is another possible issue, because if the customer have old generation of control box, there is no control for the electronic brakes, which is mandatory now. We will produce and send the kit to upgrade the gear control box. The kit is just $20, so we will send him a kit to upgrade the existing control box, to have control for the electronic brakes. If again the customer wants to keep his existing control box, new control box for two ports is $150 for H2, and for three ports it's $450. But it's only needed if he really wants to replace the whole control box. Performance-wise, it doesn't make any difference, honestly, but there's some convenience features like screen and like the different generation of controllers. So for redundancy, maybe for like after warranty replacement also makes sense.
Okay, so just for clarity, if I've got this right, and just for anybody listening. So for me, for example, I've got the H3. If I want to upgrade, I've got three motors. I've got pitch, roll, and I've got yaw. I don't have to worry about the yaw axis, the rear motor. There's never been an issue with that one anyway. There's no stepping on that, not that I've experienced. So I would have to just replace the axis for roll and the axis for pitch, two motors. They would cost me $200 per motor. If I was to ship the original motors back to you, or $300 per motor if I wanted to keep those motors. Have I got that right?
Yes, exactly, because you have later generation with SFU and electronic brakes. Yes.
Okay, so for those watching that don't have the SFU and don't have the electronic brake, that is where those extra costs start creeping in. Okay, but that's only for the H series, the Hero series, isn't it? What about the P or professional grade?
Yes, correct. So for professional, we still are testing the solution with the vendors, and we don't have it out for commercial deployment. We need a few months. So what it means as of now, all P models, they are the same design, same pricing as before. So they might have this issue if you order for flight simulation, but since we have most of the customers, consumer customers here, and overall, this should be impacted because they order H series. But for P, if you want to have P for home and for flight, just let us know. We can maybe work something out temporarily, or like we will see what solution to do for you. But as of now, on the website, these are the same, like kind of old or previous generation design, all P models, even flight, heli, and everything else.
Okay, just for clarity then, for my understanding, um, if we order today anything in the H or Hero series, that is automatically, and providing we order under the flight or the heli category, we will get the new update with the new gearbox, yeah?
Correct, yes.
But if it's the P series, that will not, even if we choose flight or heli, that will not include the new gearbox solution. That is something you're still working on, and is likely to be another couple of months. If somebody wants a P series desperately for home or flight use, they should, before placing an order, contact you guys directly.
Yes, that will be the best way to do it, yeah.
Just looking at all the various upgrade options that you've outlined for us and what have you. What if, say, for example, you've got a customer who's got a P or professional model, but he wants to go for the H or Hero motors? Is that possible, or is that not a practical thing?
It is possible, and I think it will be pretty practical because we still have some customers, like consumer customers, that using P models at home, and for them, unless they really play 10 hours a day every day, it will make sense to to go for new H motors with the new gearboxes, and again, in this scenario, when they will ship us back the existing motors and they have SFU already, like latest and greatest, it will cost them just $150 per motor. So for H2 or H3, it will be just $300 plus shipping.
Okay. Yeah. And a typical P owner, how many motors would they be looking at? Or would it vary by model, I guess?
Yeah, it's the same story. So uh, if he have P2 or P3, it will be we again we suggest to upgrade just two front motors, so it will be like $300 and six. Yeah, for six you have to do all six.
Okay.
Yes,
Now,
yes.
how will somebody go about ordering that from DOF Reality? It could get a bit confusing and what have you. Will that option be available to purchase the motors and what have you on your website? And if so, when?
Yes, for all this, to avoid errors or um, shipping something that will not fit, we will do it on request basis. So the best way is to contact our support, send the pictures of your setup, your motors, your frame, your control box, and saying what you want to upgrade, and they will prepare the offer with shipping as well, and send you an invoice to make sure that what you will be paying for and what you will get 100% fits, 100% compatible with your platform. We'll have to do it on order basis. We cannot automate it because it will lead a lot of confusion and misinformation.
Okay, but if somebody's perfectly happy with their H2 or H3 as it is, they don't have to do anything, do they? They're not disadvantaged by not upgrading.
No, no, not at all. That's again, we're get into square one of all this holy war of stepping issue, which again, and you can confirm or you can detail it more because you're more flight guys than I am. That it occurs only on general aviations, super slow rate turns, in some kind of almost artificial conditions. You will experience it, and most of the customers in real life, real flight scenarios, they don't feel it at all unless they were specifically told to try it on like kind of synthetic tests, I would call it.
Okay, and again, just for clarity, Igor, if anybody wants to upgrade, they're not going to go on the website and just pick items off a list. They need to contact you through support.
Yes, exactly. This will avoid any mistakes in ordering, and the customer will get best quotation, proper quotation, as well for the shipping, as well for the set of the upgrade kit he needs.
Okay. And from when are they able to do that? I mean, is it available now or
Yeah.
so they can do it now?
Yeah. Like since Saturday, it's platforms are updated. Platforms themselves are updated on the website, and we have motors from the factory, so we are ready to ship them. And actually, there are already some customers that ordered new ones, so they will be shipped on Friday.
Okay. So what about response time? I've got a feeling you're going to get quite a lot of requests fairly quickly. I mean, what about response time? What should people expect in terms of a response? Is it a day, 2 days, 3 days, a week? It would just be good for people to know.
No, it should be within hours because we have three agents in three shifts around the clock. And everybody knows the kind of calculation strategy. Everybody is aware of how to do this, how to calculate, how to deal with these upgrades, how to do invoices. So I would say, and even we have an agent for weekends and holidays. So like weekdays, it should be a few hours. Weekend, it might take like 8-12 hours depending on the shift, but it's pretty quick as the rest of the matters we deal with.
So let's say then somebody wants to order, they order 2 motors or whatever the case may be. What sort of lead time will they get from DOF Reality from the time they place their order to the time that it's ready for shipment?
Sure. We have everything in stock. So it depends on configuration. It depends on the destination. But from the time we get an order paid till we ship it out, it's maximum 2 weeks. And then it depends on the courier or like destination timing and service.
Igor, thank you very much. I think that more or less touches on all the bases that are necessary. And people understand now if they're buying new, they're going to automatically, if they order under the heli or the flight category, they're going to get the update. And there is a route, although it can be a little bit complicated, there is a route for exchanging the motors for the H and existing P series owners. So, is there anything else that you think needs to be said at this point?
Yeah, thank you, Mark, a lot for this opportunity. And I just want to mention that this upgrade scenario and pass and pricing might look complicated, but believe me, we try to make it simpler because we don't want customers to take apart motors, remove them from gearboxes, put the gearboxes on. So technically, it's easier to do than just shipping the gearbox and try to sandwich it in on the customer time, on the customer expertise. So we try to make real practical solution. And as well, you need to keep in mind that we have 10 years history on the market. So within 10 years, we have so many different versions of the platform, and we try to address all of them now. So we want to have basically backwards compatibility, and we want to have them all be upgradable to the latest and greatest. And that's why we have to develop one scenario, one simple scenario for everybody, and also cost effective. And getting back to this, the point that it's 10 years of our company this year on the market, and we celebrating it with 10% discount on all our products, including upgrades, guys. So you just, if you order a new platform, you need to mention the DOF10 promo code, DOF10 promo code, or if you're ordering like over email or over chat with our support, just mention that you want to apply this 10% anniversary discount. And that would be a great order and a great way to save and celebrate our position.
I think what I'll do is I'll post that on screen when the video is published. I'll put the promo code. Igor, whilst this may not have been the best news for every user, I just wanted to say thank you and that we do appreciate that you're coming back to us, that you've had a look at this, you've found a working solution and a very good one. And we really do appreciate the support, the continuing support that the flight simmers are getting from DOF Reality.
Thank you, Mark. It was my pleasure, and I think it's amazing news, and I think it's a great solution, and it's justifies the platform improvement every year, and it justifies that we exist and we make it affordable for you guys.
For all of you guys watching, thank you very much for joining me today. I hope you found it useful and informative. Don't forget to contact DOF Reality via support if you want to follow up and confirm exactly what you need before you commit. That option is there and highly recommended. But until next time, stay well, look after yourselves. I'll see you all again very soon. And ciao for now.